Yeah, okay, we're back again. And this is, in the last video, I talked about cleaning the jet, the main jet and the carburetor and getting it basically to work. So that, that'll work well, when the engine is warm and running. But of course you have to get it started. So on the larger Briggs and Stratton lawnmower engines, probably like 5 horse and on up, and the newer ones, they have this kind of a primer bulb system, and you've probably seen these if you've got a lawnmower and you pump this little thing here, and that shoots gas into the engine. And some of the things that you have to make sure of here, first of all, that this primer bulb isn't damaged, and really the only thing that can go wrong is if you get a big rip in it or something. And I suppose they can eventually go out. I've never really seen one, that is so old that it gets dried out and rotty. But I suppose it does happen, and they do have replacements for it. And you kind of got to squeeze these little tabs and take the thing out and that. But you can tell if it's good or not. I saw this on YouTube, that if you take some soapy water and you spray it into this little channel right here, and then you pump the primer valve, and if it shoots the water out or you get bubbles from the soap, well, then it's doing what it's supposed to do, so that one's okay. The issue that that occurs with these is the gasket that goes around here will wear out and get old, and it won't seal. It won't seal very well. And if it doesn't seal well, it's not gonna get enough air pressure to push the gas into the carburetor where it needs to be. So the gaskets are cheap. You can buy them on eBay or Amazon, and it's just a couple of dollars. So I mean, you can try to make your own, I suppose, but it's really not worth it. I mean, you get them for a couple of dollars for, so you might as well just go ahead and buy one that's all stamped out and it fits really nice. And then I've heard it said that sometimes these things can get kind of warped to these covers, and I would say that if you suspect it's warped and it's not sealing well against the carburetor, just you can buy another one of these too for not a whole bunch, so that's easy enough to take care of. Now, what happens when you push that primer bulb, okay, it pushes air through this little channel, and the air goes into the carburetor right here, in this hole right here. So if you have this carburetor on your engine hanging there, and the gas is in the float bowl is full. If you take an air compressor and you blow air through this channel right here, what'll happen, it'll push some of the gas up through the main jet in the center of the carburetor, right in there. You'll see it come squirting up, and that shows you that this passageway is clear. And I guess this doesn't plug up very often from what I've heard and what I've seen. So if you do that, and you take your air compressor and you push some air through there and you see the gas come squirting out, that's fine. So then the only other thing you have to worry about is if your primer bulb is good and your airway is clear, make sure you have a good seal. Put your gasket on there, and then you reassemble your air filter plate onto the carburetor with the gasket on there. This doesn't have a gasket because I don't have a spare one on hand now. And just make sure you tighten it up good, not super tight, with this bolts right there, and it should work. It should work just fine. So put your air filter here. And there you go. And that was a issue with the mower I was working on earlier, was that it wasn't priming. You know, I mean, it ran good when the engine was warm, and you could restart it when the engine was warm, but it wasn't starting when it was cold. So, and I punched the primer ball, and there was no gas shooting out. So I reasoned that there was some kind of a seal problem in here, and actually I added another piece of gasket on there. I did the little test. Like I said, I shot some air into the carburetor on the engine, and it pushed the gas out, so I knew that was working. It was a brand new carburetor on the engine now. So anyway, so that was working okay, and so I just made sure that this is sealed good here, and tighten it up, and the old lawnmower works good now. So, but anyway, that's your air filter housing and your carburetor. And your carburetor, of course, hooks right onto the engine. You got an O-ring seal on there on the engine, so it's a pretty simple operation, really. And you know, your gas line goes on here, but that's about all there is to it. It's a simple thing, nothing really much to go wrong with it. But like I say, if you have any questions, just leave me a comment or send me a message or whatever, and I'll do my best to answer for you. So you have a good day, and thanks for watching.